You are watching Access LaPorte County, Channel 97. Coming up next is July 17th, 2023 meeting of the Michigan City Board of Public Works and Safety. You can find more information for this meeting by visiting www.accesslaportecounty.org.
Good morning, everyone. I'd like to call this meeting of the Michigan City Board of Public Works and Safety to order the 17th day of July, 2023. Present are Mayor Dwayne Perry, Mr. Michael Vinson, myself, Virginia Keating. We have a quorum. First item on the agenda is the approval of the minutes of the regular hybrid Zoom meeting of July 3rd, 2023. Are there any corrections?
None here, Madam Chair.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Support.
I'll call for the vote. Mayor Perry.
Aye.
Mr. Vinson.
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. Next item on the agenda is a request to purchase city-owned property. Attorney Barry McDonald, representing Indiana Invesco LLC, to purchase a vacant property owned by the city of Michigan City on Wild Rose Drive, parcel number 46-01-13-233-022.000-022. Good morning.
Good morning, Madam President, members of the board. For the record, my name is Barry McDonald. I'm an attorney here in Michigan City with offices at 601 Franklin Street, and I am here this morning representing a local real estate company, Indiana Invesco LLC. The operations manager is Jacqueline Purrs. She's sitting in the front row there. The subject parcel that we're here before you is located on the south side of Wild Rose Drive, north of Grand Beach Road, and kind of on a broader sense, north of Highway 12. One of those parcels that's in Michigan City, but people think are Michiana Shores. The parcel is in a floodplain, according to Beacon, and is encumbered by wetlands. So if you were to take a look at that and show the overlays, you would understand why the current assessed value is only $1,800 for this parcel, because it is currently, I never want to say a parcel is unbuildable, because I suppose if you throw enough money at things, there are times you could build, but for all practical purposes, at $1,800, it's an unbuildable lot. However, Indiana Invesco owns both parcels on either side of it, as well as some other parcels in the neighborhood. So they are here requesting that this be allowed to be purchased by Indiana Invesco, and trigger the process that I appreciate your counsel educating me on, because despite having done this a lot of years, I've never done this process before. But Indiana Code 36-1-11-5 sets out a fairly specific set of circumstances when someone makes a request who's an abutting landowner and the property is below a certain value. In this case, the property is below $15,000, I believe, is the triggering value. Here I think it's even below the values where the board has to pay for an appraisal at $1,800. So that's why we are here. We understand that the board can't vote or grant necessarily anything today. It really just begins a process, but we wanted to make the request, and we appreciate the time of the board this morning.
Thank you very much. Amber?
Madam President, I would just request that this be tabled. I've heard back from half of the city departments regarding this. I'm still waiting for the other half to make sure what their stance is on it. Right now, it's been favorable, but like I said, I haven't heard back from the rest of the half.
Okay. Maybe the second meeting in August, would that work for you?
That'd be fine.
Okay. Put it on the table then.
All right.
Okay, thank you.
Was there a motion to table?
Yeah, I'm waiting.
I'll make a motion to table till the second meeting in August.
After comment, I will support that motion. I realize that this is a wetlands and has some restrictions, but Invesco owns nearly everything from El Portal all the way back. So I would ask that we have this appraised, because once this changes ownership, it becomes substantially more valuable, in my opinion. I will make that motion to second that motion.
Okay, then I'll call for the vote. Mayor Perry.
Aye.
Mr. Vinson.
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well.
Thank you.
Next item on the agenda, excuse me, is a memorandum of understanding between the City of Michigan City, Indiana, and the LaPorte County Convention and Visitor Bureau to hold the Great Lakes Grand Prix Block Party on Saturday, August 5th, 2023. Good morning.
Good morning, Terry Greetham, Michigan City Special Events. I'm here representing both Michigan City Special Events and the LaPorte County Convention and Visitors Bureau. This MOU outlines the responsibilities of each of the group for the block party. We already have received approval from the board for the street closure for the boat parade as well as the block party, and just wanted we're hoping for approval of the MOU. It's basically the same MOU as last year.
Any comments, Amber?
No, I agree with Terry, same, basically substantially similar.
Okay, all right. Then do I hear a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
I'll call for the vote. Mayor Perry?
Aye.
Mr. Vincent?
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next item on the agenda is a request for vertical drilling. Conley, Pfeiffer, Jones, Petrie, and Rafinsky is requesting to install 2 flush-mounted groundwater monitoring walls within the pull-in parking spaces along the north side of 8th Street between Wabash West and the existing Alley East on Monday, August 21st, 2023, from 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. and to return on Wednesday, August 23rd, 2023 to perform samples. Is there anybody here to speak to this today? Brad, do you want to know anything about this?
Brad Minnick, House and Associates. I had not seen this request yet from Conley Pfeiffer, so I can follow up if you have contact information for them.
I did go over this with Skylar to see if it was a redevelopment or planning activity. It is not. It's the private landowner asking for permission on this. If this board does grant this request, we did require an updated certificate of insurance with a pollution liability component to it, since they will be vertically drilling. Sanitary also gave a response and they said they would approve it, but they gave a list of all their lines and a map. So I would want to give the petitioner a copy of this so that they are aware of it if they are here. But I don't see them here.
Madam Chair.
I have no objection to giving this to Brad for further review as well.
I believe Mr. Stanford is with us now. If maybe he could shed some light on this.
Good morning, Steve Stanford, Michigan City Sanitary District. I just want to make sure that they don't hit our sewer line. It goes basically right through the area where they propose to drill. If they stay 5 feet north or 5 feet south of our line, we should be fine.
Do you need, Steve, do you need to meet with these people and, you know, make sure that they understand what they're supposed to do and not do?
Yes, ma'am. And when they call 811, we'll mark the sewer for them.
Okay.
And they can measure off the separation.
All right, okay. Regrettable that they're not here. Makes it more difficult on
And Madam
us.
President, maybe what you do is table and ask that they appear, because if we do give this, like I said, there has to be extreme care with sanitary district lines and as well as the pollution liability component, which is significant.
Absolutely, that's the only alternative that I can see as well. Do I have a motion?
Motion to table.
Second.
A call for the vote, Mayor Perry,
Aye.
Mr. Vincent,
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. Next item on the agenda is a replacement of LED signs. Brad Minnick, Haas and Associate is requesting approval for 6 LED stop sign replacements located at 6th and Pine southbound, 6th and Pine northbound, 7th and Washington northbound, 5th and Washington southbound, and Marquette High east and west in the amount of $22,910. And for the record, the controller has confirmed that the funds are available in the operating budget of the local road and streets fund.
Good morning again. If you recall, we went through earlier this calendar year and had Marcus Electric, checked the batteries in all 27 flashing LED stop signs across the city. And when they were doing that maintenance, they came across the 6 listed there that need to be replaced. So this is just a follow-up to that initial maintenance effort and to bring those other signs up to operational. So
Brad, I have a question. The controller also indicated that there was $6,803 in the budget for replacement batteries, and I don't see anything in this particular request. Are you also asking for that?
no, that was the initial effort from several months ago
So that's been taken
to
care of.
replace the batteries, and in doing that, they found 6 signs that need the entire sign replaced. So
Okay.
that's a separate, and
Separate.
that work's been completed. That's $6,803.
Okay, all right, thank you. Any public comment? Is there any board comment?
Not here, Madam
I
Chair.
have board comment. Brad, I guess I'm sticker shocked when I see the cost of this, and I believe we discussed at a previous meeting about the lighted flashing stop signs, that it's a good idea when we put up at different intersections or new stop sign intersections, just so the public is aware, extra attention to them. At what point do we no longer use the flashy signs at prolonged stop signs and just put up a regular sign? If we don't, the city is going to look like Vegas with all the flashing stop signs.
Understood. So we've taken some, in particular at the school reference there, Marquette School, we took those off of other streets and moved them there as a new installation. So basically we have 27 in inventory, less the 6 that are not working, that are just functioning as static stop signs presently. And as we have new installations, we pull those from other intersections and move them to a new installation. So we're not adding inventory, we're just maintaining what we have. And to your point, we could just keep 21 that are operational. And that's why we're here today, I guess, to discuss whether we want to keep, all that we have operational, or is there a critical number at which we go, okay, we've got 20 in inventory that are working. It's time to go back through and replace the ones that are not. That's up for conversation.
Okay. Thank you.
Madam Chair, I'd like to make a comment that Mr. Vincent's comment inspires me to do. This item here is becoming part of a bigger item, public safety and transit in automobile trafficking in Michigan City. I noticed over the weekend, I took a look at Franklin Street and I saw it's becoming in need of some serious repair. And we're always getting beaten up for repairing streets that are cracked and in need of repair. But I've noticed recently that we've got a lot of fast drivers in Michigan City. I mean, where speed is really getting to be an issue. And I thought, well, roads that aren't perfectly smooth tend to slow people down a little bit. That if we have perfect roads that are like the doggone Autobahn, and we have cars that are more silent than ever before. A car came up on me. I didn't even hear it coming. They're becoming so quiet that that's a problem. So we may need to, just a thought, we may need to focus on these solar stoplights and traffic control lights in neighborhoods throughout the city, which would be extremely expensive looking at these rates, to slow everybody down, which would improve public safety. Now, this right here, these streets Washington, Wabash, and Pine, well, Washington and Pine, really, the only two. This was done years ago when those streets were converted to two-way traffic so that people on the side streets were safe coming across Washington and Pine, to tell them that the dangerous traffic was going to stop, had to stop. This is just something I think we need to consider for the future. I don't have an issue with this particular item, but over the last couple of years, I get a lot of complaints from basically the complaint department about fast traffic in town, and what are you going to do to control it? It is becoming an issue. We need to figure out long term how we're going to slow everybody down. That being said, if board member Vincent makes a motion to approve, I will support.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Support.
Then I'll call for the vote. Mayor Perry.
Aye.
Mr. Vincent.
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. Thank you, Paul. Next item on the agenda is an application for vendor's license. Shalewa Murphy, Lee and Murphy Snow Cones is requesting a vendor's license to have a snow cone stand set up at Washington Park Beach from August 1st, 2023 to August 1st, 2024, starting at 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. daily. Is anyone here from this company?
I do not see anyone from Lee and Murphy's Snow Cones.
Okay.
I am Ed Shin with the Park Department, and I would like to report to you that the Lee and Murphy's Snow Cones are not prepared with a presentation for the Park Department to approve to even vote on. Lee and Murphy's were a vendor at an event, and as I spoke with the Health Department will not issue a permit for a cart vending in the city or in the county unless it is an event. So it is going to be very difficult for them to find some way to get the permit from the Health Department. And unless they get a permit from the Health Department, the Park Department will not consider approving.
Thank you. Any questions from the board? For Mr. Chen? Okay. Is there any public comment?
Hey, how you doing? Yeah, go on. All right. Rodney McCormick, 617 Union Street. I'm kind of familiar with this situation, and this guy that does the snow cone, him and his wife and some kids, I think they do a great job in our city. But I'm all for compliance as well. I hope, Madam President, somebody will move to table this and allow them to come and speak. Allow them to have due process. They don't show up, then you know what to do after that. I think there's 2 sides, 3 sides to every story. And I think we should have the opportunity to come here and present their case on why they should have it. Because from what I've been seeing, they've been doing a good job around here. I know there's back and forth with the health department, and maybe we can get some ordinances or statutes that prohibits this from happening. Until then, please table this. Allow them to get a chance to the next meeting to show up or just get rid of it. Thank you.
Amber?
I agree on tabling it. They're not prepared to go forward today, so I have no objection to that.
Then board, do you have any comments?
I would make a motion to table pending their approval by the health department. I think would you say that's a first step, Mr. Shin?
Yes, I would.
Okay, that's my motion.
I have a question before I would second. What's the difference in us tabling something or just denying and having them bring it back when they have all their ducks in a row? It could stay on our table list seemingly forever, and we would have to keep addressing back and forth each meeting, wondering what's going on. But if they get their ducks in a row, they could simply fill out another form and get back on our agenda.
How do you feel about this, Ms. LePage Tolbert?
It's the board's discretion. I don't care. They already have the application. I'm assuming they would just make a copy of it and resubmit it.
Okay,
I'll leave it on the table to table. No pun intended.
I'll second.
okay, then I'll call for the vote. Mayor Perry.
Aye.
Mr. Vincent.
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. This matter is tabled. Next item on the agenda is the awarding of quotes. Andrew Metanek, IT Director, will be awarding the quotes for the camera upgrades for central services and central maintenance departments.
Good morning.
Andy.
Good morning, Andrew Metanek, IT Department. We received 3 quotes that were opened at the last Board of Works meeting. One from CDWG, one from SHI International, and another one by ESI. All 3 quotes, after reviewing, all had the exact same components. The bill of materials matched identically, and it was sent over to Attorney LePage Stallbrink to review, and I believe there was some contracts that weren't signed by CDWG and by SHI, but ESI did sign the contract and submitted it as we set our packet, and they had a complete packet. So by that, the cost for ESI was approximately $90 more than the other competitors. So from the IT perspective, everything was there. So I'd go with what the recommendation from Attorney LePage Stallbrink said and just go with ESI because they had the complete and were the most responsive bidder.
Okay, and I think their bid, and I'm not sure if I'm correct, Amber, was $63,534.10. Is that correct?
That is correct. And I agree with everything Mr. Metanek said. CDW and SHI were non-responsive as they did not follow the directions and did not submit the agreement as signed. Rather, they wrote on the agreement that they wanted to negotiate it.
Okay.
Okay.
Any board comments?
Make a motion, we approve the vendor based on the most responsive bid.
Support.
Then I'll call for the vote. Mayor Perry.
Aye.
Mr. Vincent.
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Next item on the agenda is a request to solicit bids. Marty Corley, Assistant Chief of Michigan City Police Department, is requesting to solicit bids for the leasing of 10 2023 police vehicles that will be used by the service division to replace the leased vehicles that will expire. And that's 7 Dodge Chargers and 3 Dodge Durangos. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Why don't you go ahead?
Just requesting to solicit bids to renew our service vehicle lease. It's been 2 years. Those are 2-year leases, and so those leases will be up here in the September, early October.
Okay.
So we're looking to renew those or get new leases or renew the lease, whichever one comes.
Okay.
For us, basically looking for 10 vehicles, 7 Dodge Chargers and 3 Dodge Durangos. In the past, we've gotten all Dodge Chargers, but this year we're gonna get some Durangos for our evidence techs. They have a little bit more equipment that they have to carry around. And so the Dodge Charger is not as big with as far as the trunk space and backseat space. So we'll be looking for a couple of Dodge Durangos to lease for our service vehicles.
And go ahead.
And just to clarify, we're not looking to renew what we're.
Yeah, I'm
looking
sorry.
at. That's
New
okay.
lease. Yeah, you're
We're
right.
looking at a brand new lease because we want the 2023 vehicle.
Yes,
Okay, and term of lease?
2 years.
2 years, okay. And just for the record, the Controller Hoffmaster has confirmed the funding is available in the operating budget of the Riverboat. Are there any public comments? Any board comments?
Is the trade out timing going to work out for us as far as turning in our old lease and obtaining?
Yes. So usually these vehicles don't have a lot of equipment to be put into them, like lights and sirens and radios. Because they're service vehicles, they have limited equipment. So usually dealerships have these vehicles on hand. So I would figure as soon as we get the bids back and and select the bid that the dealership will have those vehicles on hand, either instant or right away, or maybe in a month's time. So,
Still have lighting.
yes, they have lights on them, just not as much as a vehicle used for patrol, because the service vehicles are for our service bureau. They use them to do a lot of follow-up. They're not on patrol as much, so they're not used for everyday patrol.
All right.
So they don't need as much equipment or lights.
When are the bids due back?
I believe,
It would be the second meeting. in
second meeting,
August.
so August 21st.
Okay. Any other board comments?
Just one question, Chief. We've been approaching this concept, the new concept, for a couple of years now. I don't remember initially, wasn't there, didn't we have an option as these leases ended to buy these vehicles at an extremely low price?
Yes.
Are we considered?
Not at a low price. I mean, by time, I guess the buyout per vehicle, if I remember right offhand, for these 2021s that we have would be in the 20,000.
Oh.
So we budgeted enough to lease again, not to buy out.
Okay, fine. Thank you.
That being said, do I have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
I'll call for the vote. Mayor Perry.
Aye.
Mr. Vincent.
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next item on the agenda is an add-on. LaShinda Hawkins High Praise Outreach Ministries is hosting an annual church picnic and revival tent, 7/23/2023 at 5 p.m. and 7/24/2023 from 7 p.m. to 11:30 p.m. outside on their back lot. I'm under the impression that the reason they're here today is some concern about noise. Is that correct? Okay, why don't you go ahead and identify yourself and give me your address.
Good morning, Pastor Blakely of High Praise Outreach Ministries on 301 East 9th Street. And we own the property right behind the church on 10th Street. And so we were requesting for our church picnic to block off the alley. And then Sunday and Monday, we were having an actual tent revival. And we was asking to have it Sunday. I don't think it would be much of an issue because it starts at 5, but Monday it starts at 7. And we wanted to, of course, get it approved to have it. And our plans was to be done by 10 o'clock.
Madam President, I'm just not sure the clerk gave them the right form to fill out, because there technically should have been the street closure form for special events.
When I originally spoke with Ms. Hawkins on the phone, hi, I'm Stacey.
Hi.
Originally it was discussed that they were not closing anything. So this is the form that I submitted to them because they were not closing off anything.
Correct. At the time, when I spoke to Miss Amanda and I think yourself as well, we were more concerned that we know after a certain time that you like the noise to cease. And because it's on a Monday night, it may still be music and praising going on. And we didn't want any issues and wanted to make sure that you were aware that we were having that probably a little bit past 10 on that Monday night. Then further in talking with Pastor Jay, it may be good to block off the alley, and I'm more than willing to fill out that form as well, to do some blockage just for safety. And I also have already contacted Church Mutual to get the certificate of liability. I should have that sometime today.
I would just read. When is the event? It's
7/23/24. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we're kind of up against the wall time-wise.
Well, obviously this board doesn't have jurisdiction on the noise component. I mean, they could work with the police department on that issue. But as to the alley closure, I mean, technically we need the form, we need the insurance. We need the other departments to review it to make sure they don't have any objection to it. I don't know.
Keep in mind, this is a.
Do you have any objections, Taylor? Does police have any? I don't know.
Hi,
How you doing?
good.
I can have firsthand knowledge of this. I used to live in this neighborhood right down the street. It's I've seen them do this. I know they quarantine off the whole block. They have a pretty vacant block. I get the insurance piece of it. I don't know if you can prove it pending. I don't know anything about that.
Is there any concern about like
Any concern
the
about?
street department and any garbage pickup? I just don't know.
I don't think they. It's just
No, we to pick up our own garbage and clean up. Indeed, it's our property. We own it, so we definitely want to make sure that everything is clean. And the insurance is not an issue. I can have that to you guys. They're working on that now. So within 48 hours, I can definitely get the insurance, a certificate of liability over here to, to cover us all. That's not a problem.
As far as noise, I don't know. I know you guys aren't in charge of that, but I would rely on the police for that. But I have seen this firsthand. They keep everything on their property. And like I said, they fence it off to keep, you put up a snow fence.
Yeah.
Our only concern is our church is on 9th Street. The lot we own is right behind the church. And the alley is between both the church and the property we own. And we don't want nobody just flying down that alley, which a lot of traffic comes down that alley. We just wanted to block off our property, in the area of that.
I just wanted to say, we're familiar with the event like Skylar. We have no issues with the noise, and we'll help out where we can with as far as the traffic down the alley and blocking off extra patrols.
So it's up to this board if we get the completed form and the insurance.
Can we just go ahead and approve contingent on
That's what I mean.
those things? So that's what I think should be done. Does anybody else have any
I
questions?
just have one question is I'm concerned about the late night closure, 11:30 and the noise. Have you always run this till 11:30?
No, well, our church picnic on Saturday is usually during the day. This is our first time having a tent revival. This is our first time. And so it starts at 7 and we expect to be done by 10. We expect to be done by 10 o'clock at night. We just didn't want to have any issues with the noise in the neighborhood.
Well, the later you go, the more likelihood you will have an issue with the noise.
But that's why the plan was to be done at 10. Yeah.
So basically you're amending this and you're saying you're going to go from 7 PM to 10 PM, not 11:30.
Yes, ma'am.
Fine, thank you, sir.
Rodney McCormick, 617 Union Street. This is something that should be done over there. The incidents that we had on York Street, which I'm going to talk about during public comments. It's time to have something, a feel-good story behind the area that they're in. They brought a lot of hope, promise, and improve the value of that neighborhood with their church. And they always do a great job. This is something that's a no-brainer for us, especially I'm living in the first ward for over 51 years. We would love to see this happen rather than to have gunshots happening and listening to all the music that comes out of Zorn Brewery that we have no control over either. So thank you.
Anything else? Do you have any
Just for me, Amanda, can you email me that form? And I'll get that over to you. The insurance company said 24 to 48 hours. Okay. I'll get that to you guys. Okay.
I'll make a motion to approve contingent on the proper form filled out and the certificate of insurance back.
Support?
Okay, then I'll call for the vote. Mayor Perry.
Aye.
Mr. Vincent.
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. Thank you. Next item on the agenda is a payroll docket for July 14, 2023. City payroll of $749,706.97. Claims docket of July 17, 2023. Municipal claim of $428,889. Health and life insurance fund $84,566.82. CDBG as Community Development Block Grant, $69,738.19. Workers' Comp Trust is zero. Total claims, $589,194.01. Do I have a motion to approve?
Make a motion to approve as read.
Support.
I'll call for the vote. Mayor Perry,
Aye.
Mr. Vincent,
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. The appeal order to repair has been withdrawn, so that's taken off of our agenda today. The unfinished business list, there's nothing on the unfinished business list, so we're going to skip on down to public comment. I just want to indicate to you that the business portion has been completed of this meeting. So public comment, any public matter requiring board action will not be discussed under the public comment section of the Board of Works meetings. All matters that require board action must be placed on the agenda using the forms and procedures available at the clerk's office. Public comment is limited to 3 minutes. All comments are to be addressed to the board president, not to individual board members. All comments must be germane to and within the mandate and authority of this board. With that said, do I have public comment, please?
Good morning, Steve Stanford, Michigan City Sanitary District. This morning I was able to get to looking at the location of this city property. It was the first item on the agenda today. The sanitary district would not like to see this property disposed of because our stormwater from Wild Rose Pinewood Drive flows through that lot.
Yeah. So noted. Thank you.
Rodney McCormick, 617 Union Street. On behalf of the residents on Miller, Emily, Union, F Street, A Street, E Street, we just want to say thank you. The lights are up. The lights are up and the alleyway is bright. The area where we have the most dumping at, the light visibility is not so well. Brad came to my home and we went out, and part of the plan was to make sure we cut those trees down, the branches, not trees, branches down so they won't block the light. Union Street was done, but Emily and the alleyway between Miller and Emily has not been done. There's also also another concern to city equipment. As Steve knows, the garbage trucks and larger trucks that go through the alleyway, they're getting beat up by the trees, the tree limbs that should have been taken down by now, and they're haven't. I mean, these are real bad. It's beating the trucks up. I believe Mr. Stanford can say the same thing I'm saying, and Brad will also say the same thing. And on another note, Madam President, I was here with Mr. Perry. We brought this up and we talked about the problems on York Street. Now, unfortunately, we had a couple of shootings. A couple of people got shot over there. Had to have some helicopter land and all that. The day that I went out with one of the things I pride myself in doing is find out how the inspection department works and going out with people and trying to help bring solutions to problems. Well, when me and Christina Vandenberg and another gentleman went out there on behalf of the city, our lights were spreading. I came to this board. We told you how bad it was over there, and it seemed like no one took our complaints serious. Now we have shootings over there, and it's broad daylight. Now, none of us here, none of us, not even the police chief, none of us can stop people from committing crimes. But we can try to bring more police presence to that area. I believe Mr. Perry did do a good job. I believe they brought lights to the end of it. But like I said, this is broad daylight, this incident. And it's kind of troubling to me. I don't know how much further we're going to go. We got a school down the street where kids play football and also still going on. And we got these violent acts that I hope that will be taken care of. I personally am not an advocate for the flock system. I don't think it's going to work. I think it's a waste of money. I think we need to hire more police officers than to hire to bring in that kind of technology that I don't see working right now. More police on the street will solve some of these problems, or not all of them. Lastly, the dividers that's on Lafayette Street that the South Shore put up for the quiet zone, I don't know, I hope I'm not the only one that's seen this. But we have a lot of vehicles that have been destroyed by that divider. It's so bad now, they put a cone on each end trying to stop people from running it over and destroying their cars. The engineer department, Brad, or somebody, maybe you can explain to us how many more vehicles going to be tore up. This is a safety issue, and we need to know what's really going on. Mr. Vince, I know you appreciate this. I just, if you go down Lafayette Street and you see how bad that curve is that they putting right to divide each side of the street, so I guess they couldn't go around. Oh my God. The cars have broken it up. It's destroyed. So I guess we're going to keep hitting it and come out and tear it down and repave it and do it again at the expense of the taxpayers, huh? I just think that we should be able to come up with a better solution. I know there's some statutes involved here that I don't know, but it has to be a better solution because those vehicles are getting tore up at an alarming rate. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there any board comment? Oh, wait, there's one more comment here.
Good morning again. Just wanted to bring the board's attention to the Michigan City Police Department, our National Night Out event. We'll have it August 1st, 2023 at Pullman Field from 5 to 8. This is a national event on August 1st. Police departments and communities around the country come together with their communities to have an event that's community-based police oriented. So this year it's our first time having it in MCPD, I want to say, in maybe 10 years or more. I think the last time we had it that I can remember, I was a lot younger patrolman, and Chief Knights at the time he would have a motorcycle ride from Washington Park, and we did some things out there. So we'll be at Pullman Field this year. The event starts at 5 o'clock. We'll be doing a bike safety demo, and then from there, we will offer the community the opportunity to ride along some MCPD bike units along Singing Sands Trail from the entrance to the Singing Sands Trail right across from the skate park all the way to County Line Road to the County Line Road part of the bike trail and back. It's about 2 miles. Then after that, we'll have entertainment and community vendors and free food out at Pullman Field until 8 o'clock, canine demo and some other things. So just wanted to make the board aware of it. And then I have a couple of flyers up here if you all are interested. Have some flyers, and then also I'll leave some up top, and just hope you all come out and celebrate with us.
Thank you. That's a good idea. Any board comments?
Just a comment on the double track and the concerns you have. I fully understand those. It's a real nuisance. But I have to say, and again, I've been informed of personally of all of the points of unhappiness on a project the magnitude of this. Details are lost until you get to about 80%. A lot of people have lost their driveways. Those islands, they may have to put up more barricades right now. They might have to put up cones. But before they pull off, before NICD pulls out of Michigan City, every one of those items will be addressed. If those items have to be painted high visibility yellow, if we have to put the raised up things like we got on the bridge going over to Blue Chip, it's going to happen, and it's not going to be done at the taxpayer's expense. This is NICD's project. They're paying for it, and they're not going to leave this town in disarray. I guarantee you that.
Make a motion, we adjourn.
Support.
Call for the vote, Mayor Perry.
Aye.
Mr. Vincent.
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. Thank you.